Trish, you are the stepmother to the late Bailey McCort. Tell us her story.
Bailey was murdered by her estranged husband on July 4th. After he was released, being convicted on 4 charges. One of those charges was choking. Last year, he walked out of those doors and within 3 hours bludgeoned her with a hammer.
And it ended her life.
And it ended her life.
So basically, he was found guilty of choking someone, of uttering threats, and they immediately released him. And within hours, he went and killed your stepdaughter.
Yes. They released him. They were waiting to do a psych evaluation. His sentencing was going to be September 16th. He should have never been released.
So why didn't they just keep him behind bars during the sentencing period, given that he had already had a conviction?
That is our question.
Yeah.
Why was he released?
This is insane. I mean, it's bad enough that we keep releasing people on bail after multiple prior offenses while they're awaiting trial. But this is a case where he was actually convicted of serious, violent offenses that made him a danger to everyone. And yet, after the conviction, he's released, commits a murder of a beautiful, brilliant young woman with her whole life ahead of her, a crime that could have been avoided had he been behind bars where he belonged.
Bailey would still be with us today
Right.
if he was behind bars and didn't get released.
And you've stepped up to speak for the family. Tell me about the journey that the family's been on.
It's been absolutely horrendous. There's way too many aspects that people don't understand. When you lose a loved one naturally or even in an accident, it's easier to process. This, you don't even know how to fathom it. We should have faith in our justice system, in our government to protect us. And the fact that it wasn't there to protect Bailey is gut-wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely gut-wrenching. And not only on top of grieving, there's just so many other aspects to losing somebody and being thrust into a system that you wouldn't normally be involved in, looking at family law, criminal law, dealing with ICBC, dealing with wills and estates. It's very overwhelming. And on top of that, it's incredibly overwhelming and gutting to see in the news repeatedly that women are being murdered by their intimate partner. It's been close to 4 months since Bailey was murdered, and that's many more women that have died.
And we need to take the inspiration from Bailey and pass Bailey's Law. Frank Caputo, you've introduced that bill.
Yes, I have. It's an honor to be here with the two of you and with you here, Pierre. This bill would make a fundamental change. It would be the biggest change to the law on intimate partner violence in Canadian history. It would call it what it is, which is assault of intimate partner. It would make murder of an intimate, first-degree murder. Anybody with a previous conviction in 5 years, they'd have to be released by a judge, not just by a police officer at the scene. It would also update the laws of detention, something that's needed. And in a case like Bailey's, it would allow for a risk assessment, a judge to hold somebody for up to 7 days where there are the red flags. Even if that person hasn't breached, a judge or a prosecutor, even a victim, could apply for this and say, look, I am fearful. I'd like the court to perform a risk assessment. Obviously, the accused person would have a right to have their say, due process, to make sure that it's compliant with the charter. These are all really important steps. At the end of the day, if we're not here to save lives of intimate partners, then who will be?
Well, we are here, and we will put this bill forward, and we're calling on the government and all the parties to pass it unanimously through all stages so it becomes law. We have something like 130,000 victims of intimate partner violence every single year. This bill we'll probably cut that dramatically by taking the most dangerous people out of these homes, putting them in prison, and letting innocent, mostly women, live in peace and tranquility, but allow children to wake up in the morning without fear that they're going to be savagely attacked by a violent predator who's right within the four walls of their house. So this is one where we have to put the party differences aside and get the bill passed as soon as possible, and not only to protect people, but to honor Bailey's memory. Let's pass Bailey's law. You agree?
Agree.
All right. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for fighting for all of the other people out there who owe you a great debt of gratitude, as we all do.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.